Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to take a deep dive into gold IRAs,
Oh, very nice.
something that a lot of you have been asking about. So we figured it was time for a deep dive.
Yeah, we've gotten a ton of questions.
Exactly. And we've got, I think, a good stack of research, articles, reports, even some real-life stories about folks who've used these
That's
things
absolutely.
to help us kind of figure this out.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah. Some of the questions we'll tackle.
Okay.
Is this just for, like, super wealthy people?
Right.
Is that the only person who should even be thinking about this? How do these things even work? And maybe most importantly, how do you make sure you're not getting scammed?
Exactly. How do you avoid those bad deals?
Right. How do you avoid getting ripped off? And how do you make smart choices for your golden years?
Right. And we'll also be taking a look at how gold can play a really unique role,
Okay.
especially for retirees.
Interesting. Well, we'll dive into all that and more. But first, if you're ready to take action and explore your options, we've got a free checklist to help you choose the right gold IRA company.
Oh, fantastic.
Just visit goldira.com, exclusive, and it's all yours.
Very cool.
But before we get into the details of all that, let's just address this idea that it's only for the super rich.
Okay.
Is there any truth to that?
You know, not really. Gold IRAs are becoming increasingly popular, I think, with everyday investors,
Oh, really?
especially those who are nearing or in retirement.
I see. What do you think is driving that trend?
Well, I think people are starting to realize just how important diversification is,
Okay.
especially for retirees. Think of it like this.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to build a house on just one pillar, right?
Right. That doesn't seem like the best idea.
Not a good foundation.
Right. Prone to collapse. Right?
Exactly.
Uh,
You need multiple strong supports to create a stable structure.
Makes sense.
And in the world of investing, those supports are different asset classes.
Okay.
So, traditionally, we think of stocks and bonds.
Right.
But a truly diversified portfolio often includes alternatives like real estate, commodities, and of course, gold.
Huh. So it sounds like we're talking about more than just, fancy jewelry
Yeah.
and Olympic medals here. This actually has a place in retirement planning.
It really does. I mean, gold has a really long history in finance.
Okay.
It's what's called a tangible asset, meaning you can hold it in your hand,
Right.
and that gives it inherent value, unlike paper currency, which can be
Yeah.
influenced by things like inflation.
I see. So is that limited supply what makes it so appealing?
That's a key factor for sure. Because unlike paper currencies, which can be printed endlessly, gold's supply is finite.
Right.
And that scarcity contributes to its value
Ah.
and helps it act as a hedge against, those economic uncertainties.
Right, right. The things that keep us up at night.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a safety net, you're saying.
Mhm.
A hedge against things like inflation,
Yeah.
which are particularly worrisome for retirees living on a fixed income.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. For retirees, maintaining purchasing power is crucial.
Yeah, especially with prices going up and up these days.
Exactly. You're not earning a regular salary anymore, so those savings need to stretch further.
Yeah, they really do.
And inflation erodes the value of your savings over time, but historically,
Right?
gold has held its value remarkably well, even during those periods of significant inflation.
So like a financial anchor, you're saying.
Yeah.
Helping those savings stay afloat when those, stormy seas of inflation hit.
I love that analogy. Yeah, it offers that potential to preserve purchasing power that I think a lot of retirees find really reassuring.
I see. Okay, well, I'm starting to see the appeal here.
Good.
But let's get practical.
Mm.
How does a gold IRA actually work? Is it just like opening a regular IRA just with gold bars instead of stocks?
It's similar in some ways, yeah.
Okay.
But there are a few key differences. So the first step is opening what's called a self-directed IRA.
Oh.
And this gives you more control over your investments,
Ah.
allowing you to hold alternative assets like gold.
So instead of like a fund manager calling the shots,
Right.
I'm the one kind of steering the ship here.
Exactly. You're in the driver's seat making those investment choices
Okay.
within your IRA. And then the next step is finding a specialized custodian who will manage the gold IRA for you.
Wait, so we're not talking about like hiding gold bars under the mattress, are we?
No, definitely not. That would not be very secure
Yeah.
or IRS compliant. Your gold needs to be held in an approved depository.
I see.
And these are secure, insured facilities designed specifically for precious metal storage.
Okay, so no DIY Fort Knox in my basement.
No.
Gotcha. We're talking professional secure vaults.
Exactly.
Okay, so but how does the gold actually get into this IRA?
So you've got a couple of options. You can roll over funds from an existing IRA or 401k,
Okay.
or you can make direct contributions.
Right.
And once the funds are in your self-directed IRA, then you can work with a reputable dealer to purchase the gold.
Hold on, though. Does any gold work? Or is there specific gold I have to get for this?
That is a fantastic question.
Okay.
And this is where it can get a little tricky,
Okay.
which is why research is so important.
Yeah.
Not all gold qualifies for a gold IRA.
So I can't just like melt down my old jewelry and call it a day.
I'm afraid not. It needs to be what's called investment-grade gold, which is usually bullion or certain approved coins.
Okay, so there are rules to this gold game.
There are.
Tell me a little bit more about like these approved options.
Sure. So the gold in your IRA needs to be at least 99.5% pure.
Wow.
So we're talking about high-quality gold that truly holds its value.
Okay.
So bullion, which are those gold bars you often see in movies, is a popular choice.
What about like American Eagle coins? Have you seen those?
Those are a great example. American gold eagles, Canadian gold maple leafs,
Oh, yeah.
Australian gold kangaroos, they all meet the IRS requirements.
So we're sticking with the pure stuff here. Bullion, specific coins, no like, antique gold nuggets or family heirlooms allowed.
Oh.
Gotcha. But let's maybe step back for a moment and talk about why these rules even exist and why gold IRAs are structured this way in the first place.
Okay.
It all comes back to those tax advantages, right?
Exactly. Just like traditional IRAs.
Okay.
Gold IRAs offer significant tax benefits.
Okay, so less money going to taxes means more money I have to enjoy those golden years.
Exactly.
But are there other advantages beyond the tax breaks?
Absolutely. It's really about long-term stability and peace of mind.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about gold acting as a hedge against inflation?
Right.
Well, it also has a really long history of preserving purchasing power, over centuries.
Right.
And that's peace of mind that you just can't get with a lot of other assets.
So like an insurance policy, kind of.
Yeah,
Against those economic storms that can just wreak havoc on retirement plans.
that's a great way to put it.
This is starting to sound pretty good.
Good.
But before we get too carried away, I have to ask, are there downsides here? I'm sure there's some shady operators out there, right?
Unfortunately, you're right. With gold's rising popularity,
Right.
there are always those looking to exploit the opportunity.
So how do we avoid those? And speaking of avoiding those, if you are interested in starting your research,
Okay.
we do have that free checklist
Yes,
to help separate the reputable companies from the rest.
exactly.
That is at golderablueprint.com exclusive.
That's right.
It's there for you. But let's get back to those scams. How can our listeners avoid, falling prey to these bad actors?
Well, the first rule of thumb is if it sounds too good to be true,
Right.
it probably is.
That makes sense.
Be wary of companies promising unrealistic returns or pushing those exclusive deals.
So a healthy dose of skepticism is a good thing.
Absolutely. Remember, gold is a long-term investment,
Right.
not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Right. Slow and steady wins the retirement race.
Exactly. Another crucial tip is to really thoroughly research any potential gold IRA provider.
Okay.
Check their reputation with the Better Business Bureau.
Hmm.
Look for online reviews. Make sure they have a solid track record.
Got it. Reputation matters. What else should we be looking out for?
Welcome back to the deep dive.
We talked a lot about diversification, hedges against inflation, even that crisis insurance factor.
Yeah.
But it'd be great to actually see how this plays out in real life.
Sure.
Do you have any examples of how gold IRAs have helped retirees kind of navigate those, choppy financial waters?
Yeah, I do. Our research actually uncovered a case study
Okay.
about a couple, we'll call them John and Susan,
Huh?
who retired to Florida.
Sounds idyllic.
Right. Sunshine and retirement.
What could be better?
They'd worked hard, saved diligently,
Okay.
and built a comfortable nest egg, primarily invested in that traditional mix of stocks and bonds.
It's a classic retirement portfolio.
Exactly. But they also recognized that, relying solely on stocks and bonds left them vulnerable
Right.
to market swings and inflation.
Makes sense.
So they decided to diversify a portion of their savings into a gold IRA.
So they weren't putting all their retirement eggs in one basket.
Exactly. They rolled over some funds from their existing IRA,
Yeah.
purchased a mix of gold bullion and American Eagle coins,
Okay.
held them in a secure depository.
So they had a portion in the traditional market, a portion in gold.
Exactly.
What happened next?
Well, a few years into their retirement, a combination of global events and rising interest rates
Oh, boy.
triggered a market correction,
Oh, no.
and their stock holdings took a significant hit, losing value.
Ouch.
But remember that gold they tucked away?
Right. This is where the crisis insurance kicked in.
Precisely. While their stock portfolio was feeling the pressure, the value of their gold holdings actually increased,
Oh, wow.
offsetting some of those losses.
So they were able to ride out that storm a little bit more smoothly than if they'd been fully invested in stocks and bonds.
That's exactly what the case study suggests. Their gold IRA acted as a buffer,
Oh,
helping them weather that market volatility
interesting.
and preserve a portion of their hard-earned savings.
It's fascinating to see how those abstract concepts we talk about, hedging against inflation, diversifying your portfolio,
Right.
actually play out, when you look at a real world scenario like that.
It's powerful. It's a powerful illustration of how gold can function as a safe haven during those turbulent times.
It sounds like they were pretty happy with their decision.
They were. It provided them with a level of stability and peace of mind
Right.
during a time when, many retirees were feeling anxious about their financial future.
Right, right. So that's one compelling example, but is this like a common occurrence? I mean, does gold consistently perform this way?
Well, it's important to remember that gold is not a magic bullet,
Right.
and past performance is never a guarantee of future results.
Of course, of course.
But gold prices do fluctuate,
Okay,
but they tend to move in cycles, often tied to those broader economic trends.
I see.
And as we've discussed, gold often acts as a safe haven during those times of uncertainty,
Right.
which can potentially mitigate risk in your overall portfolio.
So it's about understanding how gold's price behavior can work in your favor over the long term.
Exactly. It's not about timing the market or chasing short-term gains.
Okay.
It's about strategic diversification and building a portfolio that can weather a variety of economic conditions.
I'm sure some of our listeners are wondering how much of their retirement savings they should actually allocate to gold.
Right.
Is there like a magic number?
Unfortunately, there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay,
The ideal gold allocation really depends on a variety of factors,
I see.
like your risk tolerance, your overall investment goals,
Right.
and your time horizon.
So it's not about following a rule of thumb.
Right.
It's about tailoring that allocation to individual needs.
Exactly. And it's a conversation best had with a qualified financial advisor
Okay.
who can really assess your individual circumstances
Right.
and help you create a plan that aligns with your unique financial goals.
Yeah, creating a personalized roadmap basically for your retirement journey.
Ex-
Now, what about costs? I mean, are the fees associated with a gold IRA higher than a traditional IRA?
That's a great question. Generally speaking, yeah.
Uh,
Gold IRAs do tend to have slightly higher fees.
okay, why is that?
Well, there are those additional costs associated with storing and insuring physical gold.
Right, those secure depositories we were talking about.
Exactly. Those services come at a price.
So it's important to factor those fees in when you're comparing different providers.
Absolutely. Transparency is key. Reputable providers will be upfront about their fee structure
Okay?
and answer any questions you have about the costs involved.
Fees and transparency, got it.
Yes.
Now, I'm curious, can you hold other precious metals in a gold IRA?
Yeah, so while the term gold IRA is commonly used,
Okay.
these accounts can often hold other IRS-approved precious metals as well.
So it's more like a precious metals IRA.
Yeah, that's a more accurate description.
Gotcha.
You can typically invest in silver, platinum, and palladium, provided they meet those same IRS standards for purity and form that we talked about earlier.
So there's some flexibility within these accounts.
There is.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about estate planning.
Okay.
What happens to a gold IRA when the account holder passes away?
It's an important aspect to consider.
Yeah.
Like traditional IRAs, gold IRAs have beneficiary designations.
Okay.
So you can name a spouse, children, or other individuals to inherit the assets.
So it's similar to passing on any other type of retirement account.
Exactly. And it's crucial to keep those beneficiary designations up to date.
Okay.
And, maybe consult with an estate planning attorney to ensure that your wishes are carried out smoothly.
Good advice. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, are there any other key points you think our listeners should keep in mind?
I think it's important to reiterate that while gold can be a really valuable addition to a retirement portfolio,
Okay.
it's not a substitute for a comprehensive financial plan.
It's one piece of the puzzle, not the entire picture.
Exactly. It's crucial to have that holistic plan
Okay.
that addresses all your needs and goals,
Right.
including income, healthcare, and estate planning.
Gold can play a role,
Exactly.
but it's not the be-all, end-all solution.
Precisely. It's about creating that balanced and well-rounded approach to financial well-being in retirement.
I think that's a great point to end on.
I agree.
But for those who are ready to take the next step and want to learn more about choosing the right Gold IRA company,
Yes.
we've got a resource that can help.
Our free checklist.
That's right.
Yes, it's packed with tips.
It is to help you navigate the process with confidence.
Exactly.
And you can get that by visiting golderablueprint.com/exclusive to download your copy.
Wonderful.
It's a great starting point for anyone who's serious about protecting their retirement savings and exploring those potential benefits of a Gold IRA.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want to delve deeper into the practical steps involved in actually setting up a Gold IRA,
Okay.
make sure you tune in for the final part of our deep dive. We'll cover everything you need to know about choosing a provider, avoiding scams, and getting started. All right, so we've talked about the why of Gold IRAs.
Right.
But now let's get to the how.
Yeah, let's get practical.
If you're listening and thinking, okay, this might be for me, how do I actually do it?
Exactly. Like, how do you choose a provider?
Right, because that can feel kind of daunting, right?
Yeah, it's a big decision.
It is. So where do we even begin?
Research is always the best place to start.
Okay.
And luckily, in today's world, we've got information at our fingertips.
Right, but I imagine you're saying don't just rely on a company's website.
Exactly. You got to dig a little deeper.
Okay, so where's a good place to start digging?
Well, the Better Business Bureau, or BBB, is a really reliable resource.
Okay.
Their ratings and reviews can give you a good snapshot of a company's reputation.
Okay.
Look for an A+ rating and positive reviews from other customers.
So the BBB is kind of like a watchdog,
Exactly.
helping us avoid those companies with questionable practices.
Exactly. But don't stop there. Websites like Trustpilot
Okay.
can offer even more detailed customer feedback.
Gotcha.
And you want to see a pattern of satisfied customers, folks who've had positive experiences with that company.
So we're looking for consistency,
Exactly.
not just like a couple cherry-picked testimonials they put on their website.
Exactly. And in those reviews, pay attention to what people are saying about responsiveness,
Okay.
transparency, and the overall service experience. These are qualities that really matter in a long-term relationship.
It's more than just the initial transaction.
Absolutely. It's about finding a partner who will be there for you throughout your retirement journey.
That makes sense. Now, are there other things besides just online reviews
Yeah.
that we can do to research these providers?
Don't underestimate the power of personal recommendations.
Okay, yeah.
Talk to friends, family members, colleagues who might have experience with Gold IRAs.
Yeah, sometimes hearing those firsthand accounts can be more valuable than reading a bunch of online reviews.
Absolutely, and they can offer insights that you just won't find anywhere else.
So it sounds like the ideal Gold IRA company goes beyond just like the basics of setting up an account.
Exactly. You want expertise. You want a company that specializes in Gold IRAs,
Huh.
not just a general financial institution that happens to offer them as like a side service.
Right, so it's like finding a specialist doctor,
That's a great analogy.
someone who really deeply understands this particular area.
Exactly. You want a team with a proven track record, a deep understanding of IRS regulations, and the ability to really guide you through the process with confidence.
Okay, so expertise is a must-have. What else should we be prioritizing?
Transparency. A reputable provider will be upfront about their fees and terms.
Right.
No hidden costs, no surprises down the road.
No fine print gotchas.
Exactly. And look for a company that clearly outlines their fee structure on their website and in agreements.
Okay.
And, don't hesitate to ask questions about any fees that seem unclear or excessive.
It's my money.
Yeah, it's your money. You deserve to know how it's being managed.
Right, exactly.
And finally, I'd say pay attention to the company's customer service reputation.
Right, because again, we're talking about a long-term relationship here.
Absolutely.
You want someone who's going to be there for you when you have questions or concerns.
Exactly. Look for a company that offers multiple channels for support,
Right.
whether it's phone, email, or live chat, and read reviews specifically mentioning their customer service.
So it's about finding a true partner, basically.
Exactly.
Someone who's invested in your success.
Absolutely.
Now, before we move on to actually setting up the Gold IRA,
Sure.
let's go back to scams for a minute,
Okay, yeah.
because I know that's something that's probably on a lot of our listeners' minds.
Yeah, it is.
How do we make sure we're not dealing with a shady operator?
It's important to stay vigilant and trust your instincts.
Okay.
If something feels off, it probably is.
Right.
So let's talk about some red flags to watch out for.
Okay, what should be sending off alarm bells for us?
High-pressure sales tactics are a big one.
Okay.
If a company tries to rush you into a decision,
Right.
saying you'll miss out on a limited time offer.
Call now. Operators are standing by.
Exactly. Legitimate gold IRA companies don't operate like that.
Okay.
They understand that this is a significant financial decision
Right.
and give you the space to make an informed choice.
So if they're turning up the heat, it's probably a good sign to walk away.
Exactly. Unrealistic promises are another red flag.
Okay.
If a company guarantees sky-high returns or claims that gold is like a foolproof investment,
Right, right.
be very skeptical.
Because as we discussed earlier, every investment carries some risk.
Right.
And there's no guarantees when it comes to the financial world.
Exactly. Reputable companies are honest and transparent about both the potential risks and rewards of investing in gold.
So realistic expectations are key.
Absolutely.
What other red flags?
Be wary of companies that push you to buy obscure or numismatic coins.
What are those?
So these are coins that are valued more for their rarity or collectible status than their actual gold content.
So like I'm buying a piece of art instead of gold bar.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And while those coins can be valuable,
Yeah.
they're not typically suitable for a gold IRA.
Gotcha.
Stick to the basics. Gold bullion.
Okay.
And those commonly traded coins like American Eagles.
Bullion. Common coins.
Exactly. And then a lack of transparency about fees is a big one.
Right.
If a company is vague about their fee structure or tries to downplay the costs, proceed with caution.
Okay.
Because those fees can really eat into your returns over time.
They can, absolutely.
And a reputable company will be upfront about fees and able to clearly explain, how they're structured, what services they cover.
Right, so no hidden fees, no nasty surprises later on.
Exactly. And, finally, trust your gut.
Okay.
If you get a bad feeling from a company, if their website looks unprofessional, if their representatives seem pushy or evasive, walk away.
Right. There are plenty of reputable companies out there. You don't need to feel pressured.
Better safe than sorry, especially when it comes to retirement.
Absolutely.
Right.
So now, assuming you've done your research, you've chosen a reputable provider, you're ready to take the plunge, how do you actually set up the gold IRA?
Yeah, let's walk through the process.
All right. So step one, you open a self-directed IRA account with your provider.
Okay.
And this is a specialized type of IRA that allows you to hold those alternative assets, like gold.
Okay.
And it's usually a straightforward process that you can complete online.
So no mountains of paperwork?
No.
Weeks and weeks of waiting?
Not at all. Reputable providers make it as seamless as possible.
Okay, good.
You'll need to provide some basic personal and financial information.
Right.
Much like opening any other type of investment account.
Right. Okay. And then once my self-directed IRA is open, how do I fund it?
So you can fund it in a couple of ways. You can roll over funds from an existing IRA or 401k.
Okay.
Or you can make direct contributions.
And if you're rolling over funds, be sure to work directly with your gold IRA provider to ensure a smooth and tax-efficient transfer.
Yeah, no surprise tax bills.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So then, once my account is funded, then what?
Then you work with your provider to select the specific gold products you want to purchase.
So this is where we choose between those bullion bars,
Exactly.
coins, that kind of thing.
You got it. And they can walk you through the options, explain the pros and cons of each, help you make a choice that aligns with your investment goals and your risk tolerance.
So it's like having a personal gold shopper.
I like that.
Helping you navigate the world of gold investing.
Exactly.
All right, so once I've chosen my gold, then what?
Well, then they execute the purchase on your behalf and arrange for the gold to be securely stored in an approved depository.
Back to those super secure vaults.
Exactly. And then once your gold is safely stored, you can monitor your investment.
Okay.
Have peace of mind knowing it's protected.
Okay, so we've opened the account, funded it, picked our gold, it's safely tucked away. What's next?
That's the beauty of it. Now you just get to enjoy your retirement and watch your investment grow over the long term.
Okay.
And, remember, gold is a long-term strategy.
Right.
So don't get caught up in those day-to-day price fluctuations.
Right. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. It's about building a solid foundation for your financial future.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
From debunking myths to exploring those real-life examples. To understanding those step-by-step processes.
Absolutely.
Are there any final thoughts or takeaways you want to leave our listeners with?
Knowledge is power,
Yeah.
and we've given you a lot of information, but it's important to stay informed and never stop asking questions.
Right.
The more you understand about gold IRAs,
Right.
the better equipped you'll be to make those smart decisions for your future.
And if it feels overwhelming, don't hesitate to reach out to a financial advisor.
Exactly. They can offer personalized advice and help you determine if a gold IRA is really right for you.
Right. And for those who are ready to take that next step
Okay.
and start exploring gold IRA providers,
Yeah.
we've got that free checklist
Yes.
that's packed with valuable tips to help you choose the right company
Absolutely.
and avoid those pitfalls we talked about.
It's a great starting point.
It is. You can grab that at goldearblueprint.com, a-time exclusive,
Wonderful.
and that will help get you started on the right track.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, it's been fun diving deep on this topic.
It has been.
I hope everyone listening has found this as informative as we have.
Me too.
And remember, it's all about taking control of your financial future
Right.
and creating a retirement that brings you peace of mind and the freedom to live life on your terms.
I love it.
That's what it's all about.